morning. We're ready to do our English lesson today. Now, if you'll remember last week, you ended the week with having written your rough draft. Remember, we're writing our personal narrative. It's a story about you that you're telling. Remember the guy that we were looking at in the book? His name was Shibu, and we were following his writing assignment and kind of seeing how he put his together and how he did his, and it was kind of helping us with ours. So I hope you have your rough draft that you've written. I hope you skipped lines, because today we're going to revise it and proofread it. Actually, we're just going to revise. Tomorrow will be proofreading, but let's go ahead and look at, you really need your book out too. You're going to need to look at mainly page 32 at the bottom. There's a revising checklist right down there you're going to need to look at. You see that on page 32, a big blue box that says revising checklist. Now, revising and proofreading are two different things. When you revise something, that means you read back through your rough draft. You start at the beginning and just read it to yourself out loud, or you can whisper it or in your mind. A lot of times it's better if you just kind of read it to yourself, kind of like this. That it was open to the 23rd Psalm. I read it out loud. Kind of to yourself-ish, sort of. And so that kind of helps your ears to hear if there's an error or something that needs to be changed. So before we go on to that revising checklist, look at the page before it on page 31. I want you to see, now remember his writing assignment was called My New Friend. He was talking about his grandmother or great-grandmother that he had gone to see. Now I want you to notice that you see where he starts out. Last year I went with my dad to visit his grandmother at Berrydale Nursing Center. Now notice that he deleted the next sentence. I felt afraid. Do you see how he put lines like whoop, a little line like that? That's a proofreading mark. That means delete that. So he took that sentence out. I felt afraid. He took that out. Notice what he did on that blank line. Remember we said to skip lines when you write your rough draft? That is so when you decide, I don't want that word or I don't want that sentence. I want to change that. You'll have room to write your new sentence. So he revised it and he put this in there. I didn't know I was going to make a new friend. I only knew I felt nervous. So he made it sound a little better. Rather than just saying I felt afraid, he said, well, I didn't know I was going to make a new friend. I felt nervous. Now, so he took out the word afraid and he used the word nervous. I wonder how he came up with that. Do you think he looked in a thesaurus? Perhaps he did. Perhaps he looked up the word afraid and he found the word nervous, which makes it even better, because afraid can mean like, ugh, but nervous is like, kind of different. So anyway, all right, so let's look down a little bit here. He says, see at the bottom where it says, this must be Shibu. Her voice was soft and shaky, but her smile was full of love. And then he added a sentence. See, he put that little ding, ding, that little caret mark in there. It's like a little arrow. That means add this. And then he wrote a new sentence. I didn't feel nervous anymore. So he kind of changed the end of that paragraph up a little bit. Look at the next paragraph where it says, my dad willed. All right. So do you see that whole sentence he took out? I also have an uncle who speaks French. He deleted that sentence. He thought, that really doesn't have anything to do. It's not a real good supporting detail, because remember his paragraphs and his writing assignment is about meeting his new great-grandmother. So that sentence he put in there didn't make sense at all. So he deleted that one. So then look at the next page, the top of page 32. He made a few more changes in his writing. But if you'll notice, he didn't make a whole lot of changes, but he read through it. When I was in school, I used to get so sick and tired of reading through my writing assignments. But my teacher told me, read through it once, read through it twice, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, an eighth time, a 10th time, however many times it takes, read through it. And it is easier though if you have a partner that can help you. They can read through it, because sometimes you read through it so many times you want to change everything, or you don't want to change anything. And so sometimes it's good to have a partner, which That's the only downfall with homeschool, is generally we don't have a partner who can help us to read it. But that's okay, because you can just do it yourself, and that's all right. Now, to help you revise and revise well, you're going to need two things. You're going to need a thesaurus. Now, you have a thesaurus in the back of your English book, so you can use that thesaurus. And you're also going to need this revising checklist. And I guess I should add a third thing. You're going to need a colored pen, maybe a red pen or a different color pen than what you used, okay? Because you want to be able to see your changes that you've made. All right, look at the revising checklist. So my opening gets the reader's attention, okay? So read all of these. There are 6 things. I told the events in order. All the sentences tell about my topic. I told enough details to make my experience clear. I checked to see where I could use more descriptive words. And I'm frozen on the screen. There we go. My ending tells what I learned or felt about what happened. All right. And then those proofreading marks are right there to the right. If you want to add something, you can put the little arrows. If you want to put it up, it's pointing down. That means put this sentence or this word right here. Or you can point it up and put it right here. Delete means you just, anything you want to delete, you just do a little whoop, squiggly line through it. That means delete. Okay, so if you want to move something, you just put an oval with an arrow pointing where you want to move it. Okay, that'll come tomorrow though. We'll do those proofreading marks tomorrow on that part. So anyway, your assignment is to read through your personal narrative. Use this revising checklist. Make sure you've done everything. Once you feel like you've done each step, your opening gets the reader's attention. If you feel like it's good, check mark it. Now, I will give you a hint. If you don't find any errors and you don't change anything, it's probably not going to be a very good writing assignment. And I say that because generally when you write a rough draft, you're just thinking very quickly. Now, you don't have to fix things today. We're going to do that tomorrow. If you see something that's just wrong, like spelling or capitalization, you don't have to do that today. We're going to do that tomorrow. Don't worry about that today. You need to worry about making it sound good. Do you have a good opening sentence? Do you have good supporting details? Was everything told in order? Did you use those time order words? Remember, on the page before this, on page 30, there's a purple box with some time order words. It tells, what in order when things happen. You need to use some of those in there too. Did you include dialogue? Remember, there's got to be some talking in there. Okay, so you use that revising checklist and see if you can revise it the best you can, all right? And that's your assignment for today. Surprise, I'm back. I did forget something. We do need to do your practice. So I'm going to put on the screen your practice page to help you with your grammar. Make sure you get a sheet of paper out and you can put lesson 15 at the top, okay? Make sure you just follow, you'll want to pause it when I put it on there. Just follow the instructions and it's just helpful practice, okay? That is all for